What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over several quick tips to hopefully help you play better in Fortnite's Pirates of the Caribbean update. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below something you learned from this video. The first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the pirate chests, because these have some set locations and also give you a set loot from them every single time. So these are going to be the green chests, and you can find these in the pirate ships. They have guaranteed spawns there, but also in some of the vaults and mini vaults, they have guaranteed spawns in those vaults as well, because some of the vaults have been done up for the Pirates of the Caribbean update. Two examples of this would be Lavish Lair. The vault there is now a pirate vault, and you have a guaranteed pirate chest in there. And also the mini vault in between Rebel's Roost and Lavish is also a pirate vault, and there may be others on the map as well. But these have guaranteed spawns of the pirate chests, and every time you get them, you will get a green flintlock pistol, 2 big pots, and the ghost ship in a bottle item. And the reason why this can be pretty helpful is because the ghost ship is a great tool for looting. It does massive structure damage, and this can be really nice if you know somebody is in a building, but it can also just be really good for looting buildings quickly. So you can land at one of the pirate ships, get the ship, and then just completely run over the pirate ship, exposing pretty much anybody hiding inside the ship, but also making all of the loot fall down into the bottom, making it really easy and fast to loot the ship. This also works really well at Lavish Lair, because that vault at the bottom, the guaranteed pirate vault, I've landed there, gotten the ship, gotten the big pots, used them. Just being able to start with full shield is nice, and then you can just run over the Lavish building. And again, this will make it very quick and easy for you to loot Lavish, but also anybody hiding in the area will be an easy elimination, because you just completely destroy all of their cover. Like, fighting inside of Lavish is kind of not really a struggle, but it's just like weird sometimes because of how large and how vertical the building is and how long it can take those fights to play out if your opponent is trying to hide. But with the ship, you just completely destroy the entire POI, and then yeah, anybody hiding is exposed. All of the loot is also exposed. So that is what I think is the best use of the ghost ship item, is just destroying structures, mostly off spawn, because you destroy all the cover, make it easy to find the people, you make it easy to find the loot. In build mode, if you're going into a situation where there's like a bunch of builds already placed, like maybe 2 people were fighting, and then even more people showed up to third partying it, and now you're like the 4th or 5th party, being able to use the ship item and just completely destroy all those structures is really nice. And you can use other items when you're on the ghost ship. So like, you can use your heals, you can shoot your weapons when you're on there. When you jump off of the ship, it does like a nosedive though, so make sure you drive it through what you need to drive it through, because it doesn't go much further after you jump off, and it actually does negate fall damage as well, which is pretty nice. So if you're in a situation where you need to negate fall damage, the pirate ship is something that can do that. I feel like this season it really isn't the most practical use of it, because we have things in the game like Nitro, the Nitro gauntlets, that also negate fall damage and can be just items you're going to carry anyways. But that is one use of the pirate ship potentially, and it can also hit cars and knock them back as well. But again, am I going to carry the ghost ship in a bottle to counter cars? Probably not. The buried treasure map was also added in this update, which I know is something a lot of people were probably excited to see return, because it was a pretty good item in the past. But now it's pretty bad, I think, because it just gives you one of these green chests. And like I already said, the green chests give you a ship in a bottle, a flintlock pistol, and heals. The big pots are nice, I guess, but like, I'm not going to go super far out of my way to get 2 big pots, you know? I feel like the best use of the ship is in the early game, and so getting it from the treasure map, I just don't think is really good, and I really don't ever see myself using the buried treasure item, because it just gives me loot that I don't really want. If I was really intent on getting a flintlock pistol, like let's just say it's one of your favorite weapons ever, land at somewhere where there's a green chest guaranteed, and then you have it. You don't really got to go out of your way to get the treasure map and then get the loot from the treasure map to get the flintlock, you know? I know it can be a struggle to get, but if it was something that I had high priority on, I would just be landing at like one of the vaults that has like a guaranteed green chest, or the pirate ships themselves. So I think the treasure map is pretty bad, and I think the ghost ship and a bottle item is very, very niche. It's not something I really want to carry. It has its uses, but I think most of its uses are best in the early game. So it's something that, like, if I land Lavish, I probably am going to land at that vault and then just run the POI over. If I get it at a different POI, maybe I'll use it to just destroy one of the nearby buildings if I know somebody is in it. But the ship in a bottle is really not something I'm going to carry at all for this update. The loot cave also did get a makeover. Like I talked about before, the mini vaults got changed to be pirate themed. The loot cave that is on the far right side of the map, it's kind of been here for all of chapter 5, but this spot got improved because there's now a pirate ship here, which again, you can use the ship in a bottle to run it over and destroy it and loot it very quickly. And then you can loot the loot cave as well. And the loot cave itself also has several of these green chests. So if you want somewhere low key to land, I feel like the loot cave got a lot better because of this pirates update with the addition of that ship. The flintlock pistol was the other item that was added in the Pirates of the Caribbean update. It was actually added a few days prior, but you know, it's a part of the Pirates update. And this is a fan favorite item for a while now. It is a pistol. It has a single shot. It does a lot of damage per shot. I think it's like 90 body and then 190 headshot if you're in ideal range. But it does knock you back when you shoot it. And I believe it knocks enemies back that are hit by it as well, which this can be good or bad depending on how you look at it. If you don't want to get flung away from your target, then the knockback isn't the greatest. And you can actually negate this by crouching when you shoot it. If you crouch when you shoot the flintlock pistol, you're not going to go anywhere. But I do think it has times where it can be helpful to have that knockback effect, especially in Season 3. So the knockback effect now does negate fall damage. This was a change that was made for this season. The flintlock pistol in the past, you would be susceptible to fall damage after you shot it. That is no longer the case. If you shoot the flintlock, you are immune to fall damage until you land. And this is nice, and you can also just use it for mobility as well. Like if you want to get somewhere, you can just kind of turn your back, shoot it, and then it'll kind of like fling you in the direction you want to go, you know? And if you combine this with like sprinting and sliding and kind of chaining that effect, you can get around rather quickly, but it's really not the best mobility item. Like I'm not going to be carrying the flintlock pistol specifically for the mobility. When we have things like Nitro Gauntlets, Shockwaves, and even Crash Pad Juniors, I feel like all of those are better mobility items than the Flintlock. But having the effect of using it as mobility can be nice as well. The knockback effect does also apply to enemies you hit with it, like I said. But those enemies are still susceptible to fall damage. So the person who shoots the Flintlock is immune to fall damage. But if you get shot by a Flintlock and knocked off of something because of that, you can end up taking fall damage. So keep that in mind. And one of the reasons why I think the knockback effect can be really helpful this season in the sense where like you yourself shoot it and knock yourself backwards is because of the gloves. If you have an opponent just trying to melee spam you with the gloves and you shoot them with the flintlock, not only are you going to do good damage, but you're going to create some separation between you and the opponent, which should make it less likely for them to continue hitting you with the gloves. Like maybe they still just like dash on you or something and keep hitting you, you know? But more often than not, I think if you flint knock them, you're going to get away from them. And if you combine this with the combat shotgun that has really good range, I feel like that can be a somewhat decent counter to the Nitro Gauntlets, where you flint knock them, deal your damage, knock yourself away from them, and then you just swap to your combat and start unloading on them because the combat has really good range and a really good fire rate. So that separation you create really benefits you. And then the combat kind of excels in that situation. So I feel like this would be good at countering the Nitro Gauntlets if you're able to pull it off correctly. And also maybe Oscar's Frenzy Auto Shotgun as well, because it really doesn't have the most range. The knockback effect you get from the Flintlock, I don't think is enough to make the Gatekeeper irrelevant. So it's not like you're just going to automatically beat anybody using a Gatekeeper shotgun by using the Flintlock pistol. But I think dealing with the gloves and dealing with the auto shotgun, the knockback effect of the Flintlock can be pretty helpful. In addition to just, you know, being able to open with a good amount of damage. It isn't really something I want to use though. Like it has its uses, but for how I want to run my inventory this season, I like having a shotgun and then typically the Thunderburst SMG. Nitro Gauntlets, heals, and then something to counter cars with like the EMPs or the Boombolt crossbow. And the times where I've used the Flintlock to get gameplay for videos, I've just ended up dropping my heals for the Flintlock. That way I still have my shotgun, my SMG, my mobility, my car counter, and then we have the Flintlock instead of heals. And that can work, but I just really don't prefer to play without heals. So I don't really see myself using the Flintlock too frequently, but it does have its uses for sure, and it is a solid item. and the damage potential on like hitting a headshot with this and then swapping to a shotgun or something, the enemy is not going to be able to play the game. Like, it is a very high potential weapon, but with how this season plays out, there's just other things I would rather carry. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. I know a lot of this was kind of like niche and very specific tips, but that's just kind of the nature of the Pirates of the Caribbean update. I don't think any of the new items are really like the new meta or that game changing or anything like that. So a lot of niche, very specific tips that may or may not be helpful to you. If you did find this helpful, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.